Inside the walls of chaos, gangs, violence, and secrets of America's prisons. Don't miss the next case. Subscribe, like, and share your thoughts below. Blood stained the concrete floor of C Block as alarms screamed through Iron Gate Prison. Smoke rose from a burning mattress, and the echo of boots thundered down the corridor. Inmates shouted, fists flew, and a dozen men surrounded one figure, Trey Ghost Coleman, the man everyone in the prison feared. A shank flashed under the flickering lights. Guards yelled, "Get down," but no one listened. The prison was already lost to chaos. In that moment, one question burned through everyone's mind. Who gave the order for this attack? The answer would change everything inside Iron Gate. It all began 3 months earlier, when a new inmate arrived, Marcus Dean, a 26-year-old from South Carolina. He wasn't a gang member, just a kid who made a bad choice trying to make quick money. Marcus thought prison would be about doing his time quietly and getting out. But inside Iron Gate, quiet didn't exist. The first thing he learned was that every corner had a set of eyes watching you, and every meal could be your last. His cellmate, Rico Bones Alvarez, was part of the Vipers, a gang that ran most of the contraband in the East Wing. Rico told Marcus, "You either pick a side or you're no one." Marcus tried to stay neutral, but in Iron Gate, neutrality meant weakness. Within a week, he saw an inmate stabbed in the yard over a pack of cigarettes. The guards didn't rush to help. They just called for cleanup. That's when Marcus realized, inside these walls, the gangs ruled, not the guards. Every day brought a new rule to follow. Don't stare too long. Don't borrow anything. Don't talk to the guards unless you want trouble. At night, the air filled with whispers about shipments, payoffs, and revenge lists. Rico warned Marcus, "Whatever you hear, forget it. Talking gets you buried here." Then came the rumor. A big shipment of contraband phones was coming in through the laundry department, smuggled by a corrupt officer named Daniels. It was supposed to go to Ghost's crew, the Black Iron Syndicate. But someone leaked the information to the rival gang, the Vipers. Rico grinned when he told Marcus, "It's about to get real bloody, kid." Days later, tensions boiled. The cafeteria became a battlefield. Trays flew, punches landed, and guards fired rubber bullets. But that was only the beginning. Later that night, in the dark of C Block, Ghost's men dragged someone into the showers. The sound that followed was sharp, quick, and final. Marcus couldn't sleep. From his cell, he heard one of the guards whisper on the radio, "We've got a body in the showers." Then silence. The next morning, the entire prison buzzed with one word: revenge. The sun rose weakly over Iron Gate Prison, casting long, pale shadows across the yard. But nothing about that morning felt normal. The guards were tense, the inmates quieter than usual. Everyone knew something bad was coming. Words spread fast. Ghost believed the Vipers had set up the leak that got his man killed. And in Iron Gate, payback wasn't just expected, it was required. Marcus could feel the pressure in the air, like a storm waiting to break. Rico was pacing the cell, muttering to himself. "They're coming for us," he said, his voice low. "Ghosts don't let things slide. If he thinks we did it, we're already dead." Marcus tried to stay calm, but his hands were shaking. He'd only been inside 3 months, and already he'd seen enough blood to last a lifetime. By lunch, Ghost's crew had taken over the West Corridor. They moved like soldiers, organized, silent, deadly. The guards didn't even try to stop them. Most just looked the other way. Some were even on the syndicate's payroll. Rico told Marcus to keep his head down and follow him to the kitchen, where they could hide behind the storage shelves until things cooled off. But before they got there, a warning siren cut through the air. Then came the screams. The riot had started. Inmates from both gangs flooded the corridor. Makeshift weapons flashed, broken mop handles, sharpened metal spoons, even pieces of shattered plastic. Ghost was in the middle of it all, his eyes cold, his voice calm as he pointed toward the Viper section. "No one walks out breathing," he said. Marcus and Rico ducked behind a vending machine as chaos exploded around them. Guards fired tear gas, but the smoke only made it worse. Inmates couldn't see who they were swinging at anymore. It was madness. Pure, loud, choking madness. Marcus could barely breathe as he watched a man collapse right in front of him, blood pooling fast. After what felt like hours, the riot alarms finally silenced. Backup officers flooded the block, dragging men to the ground, zip-tying wrists, shouting orders that no one heard. Ghost and several of his men were taken away in cuffs, but the look in his eyes said one thing: this wasn't over. That night, Iron Gate went on total lockdown. No movement, no talking, just the sound of boots echoing down the hall and the faint hum of the generator outside. Rico whispered, "Ghost's gonna find out who ratted him out. And when he does..." He didn't finish the sentence, because at that exact moment, the lights flickered and a single scream tore through the silence from the East Wing. Guards ran, radios buzzed, and Marcus pressed his ear against the cold cell bars, frozen in place. Someone else had just been found dead. The scream from the East Wing echoed through every block of Iron Gate Prison. Doors slammed, radios crackled, and the warden's voice came over the intercom, trembling slightly as he ordered, "Full lockdown, no one moves." But it was already too late. The storm had returned, and this time, no one was safe. Marcus and Rico sat in the dark, hearts pounding as footsteps raced past their cell. They could hear the guards shouting, "We've got another one down." The name spread fast: Officer Daniels. The same guard accused of smuggling phones for the syndicate. Now he was dead, throat cut in the laundry room. Someone had turned the war between gangs into a message for the guards too. "Ghost sending a warning," Rico whispered. "He's telling the whole prison who's in charge." Marcus stared at the wall, trying to make sense of it all. How could a place meant for punishment turn into a kingdom of crime? The guards were afraid, the inmates ruled, and the truth was buried under lies and silence. Days passed, but the air never settled. The lockdown continued. Meals were handed through slots, showers were canceled, and everyone was on edge. But deep inside, another storm was building. The Vipers believed Ghost had inside help from a corrupt officer. They wanted revenge for their fallen members. In prison, revenge is never quiet. It's always bloody. One night, Marcus woke to a whisper through the vent above his bed. "They're hitting back tomorrow. Yard time. Be ready." He froze. Someone was planning another strike. Rico looked up, his eyes wide. That's it. The Vipers are going to make their move. The next day, under gray skies, the yard filled with inmates. The guards stood higher on the towers, fingers near their triggers. Everyone felt the tension. Then, like lightning, it happened. A fight broke out near the fence. Then another. Within seconds, chaos exploded again. Metal clanged, men screamed, and tear gas filled the air. Marcus tried to run, but someone grabbed him. One of the syndicate members. "You shouldn't have heard that vent message, kid." The man hissed, pulling a shank from his sleeve. Marcus struggled, heart pounding, until Rico appeared out of nowhere, tackling the man to the ground. The sirens blared again, guards shouting orders, bullets fired into the air. As Marcus stumbled back, gas burning his eyes, he saw Ghost standing at the far end of the yard, calm, untouched, watching it all like a king surveying his empire. And then, through the smoke, a single gunshot echoed. When the haze cleared, Ghost was no longer standing. Everything inside Iron Gate went silent. For the first time, no one knew who truly ran the prison anymore. If this story shook you, the next will haunt you. Subscribe, the darkest crimes are just emerging.